West Michigan, the Republican from Zeeland, on the other end of our AT&T line this morning. How are you feeling today, sir?
Hey, we're doing all right, MPS. You're right. Football is in the air.
Yeah. You're gonna catch it.
That's a good thing in my book.
Yeah, we got the both Wolverines and Spartans are at home this weekend. The Spartans 2:00 Youngstown State. The Wolverines Akron at noon. Lions are on the road though, and I'm sure I don't know where Grand Valley State is this weekend. But are you home are you back in the district, or are you in D.C. still?
Yep. Nope. Got back home mercifully and was able to sleep in my bed early this morning. So that's always a good thing too.
Hey, is that Irish Festival in Muskegon this weekend, or is that Michael Lepp? Do you know, or is that next weekend? That Irish Festival, Muskegon. That's always a good, fun thing to do at this time of year, too. Blackthorn Band is playing. I don't know, when you get home and you try to squeeze it all in, you still have public appearances to make, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm on my way to a meeting right now with a group of retailers in the district, and so we pack it in, and that's all part of it, though. You know, that balance of trying to be out in Washington, but also be back here home and make sure that we're in touch with our constituents here.
What did you make of this? Did you read this op-ed that Vladimir Putin wrote, the Russian president, about Syria? I have some of the lines here from it, and if you didn't read it, I thought it might be fun to read some of it and get your reaction. He says, he writes, it's alarming that military intervention in internal conflicts in foreign countries has become commonplace for the United States. Is it in America's long-term interest? I doubt it. Millions around the world increasingly see America not as a model of democracy, but as relying solely on brute force, cobbling coalitions together under the slogan, "You're either with us or against us."
Yeah, says the guy who put in his own puppet for a couple of years so he could go back to his current position. And I mean, I did read the article, and it dripped with a little irony as he talked about American exceptionalism, and
yes.
Is there really such a thing? Yet, obviously the whole concept of Mother Russia is a strong one that's in the Russian culture. So I believe it was a PR piece more than any kind of true policy piece.
He said, as you mentioned, it's extremely dangerous to encourage people to see themselves as exceptional, whatever the motivation. There are big countries and small countries, rich and poor, those with long democratic traditions and those that are still finding their way to democracy. And he called, as you said, the American exceptionalism.
Yeah, and of course that's a concept that we do have something special here, and I think if anybody has done a true in-depth study of our founding and how we were founded and the people that founded us, it's not hard to come to the conclusion that something is different here in the United States, and I think we've upheld those ideals, and we have had our ups and downs, obviously, like any country, as we've gone along of our path and our journey of democracy. But to have someone like Vladimir Putin sort of lecture the United States on what it should be doing as a world player is ironic at best and kind of hilarious. I found myself guffawing out loud on a couple of the spots during that article.
Were you relieved that you didn't have to vote on a strike, a Syrian strike?
No, I wasn't relieved. I honestly would have liked to have gone on record for this and explained to people why I would have been a no. And I can tell you, this is a strange one. It had nothing to do with politics in Washington, D.C. It had everything to do with policy. And that's why you saw, I believe, the White House ask for the vote not to happen. They knew that they were going to lose, not because of Republicans, but because they didn't have people in their own party on board with this. There was no clear vision. There was no real purpose, and that was laid out and convinced anybody, whether it was the policymakers in Washington or the general public.
What are you hearing now? What happens next?
Yeah, good question.
It's kind of gone out of the news cycle now. It was like it's all we heard about, and now it's very quiet.
Yeah, well, and I think it'll continue to be sort of front page as we see the structure of the agreement, whether it's acceptable or not acceptable on time frames and those kinds of things. Look, this administration was stumbling around. Frankly, they were stumbling around backwards and tripped over a solution here, a diplomatic solution, which wasn't put forward by us. So I think it's good that we play this out, see what's going to be happening. But this again, as I said at the beginning of this, as I said back when the Libya situation was happening, we have to have the Arab League and the Arab world step up and say this cannot happen in our neighborhood, and this can't happen with one of our own Arab brethren. And they have to be engaged in this response for it to be effective long term.
Are you superstitious?
No.
Excellent. Then today's just another day to you. It's not a Friday the 13th.
Today's just another good old day, and it's Friday. So I'm definitely I'm a TGIF guy, but I'm not superstitious.
How are you handling all the back and forth flights? I mean, I know you've been in Congress for a bit now, but the people may not understand it. You come home every weekend.
Yep, I'm home every weekend. My family's here in Zeeland, and my kids all go to school here locally. And it's all about balance, and you know this too. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're in politics or on the radio or a lawyer or a plumber. If you let certain parts of your life get out of whack, someone described it to me. It's like Sid Caesar's show of shows with the guy with spinning plates, right? Mm-hmm. You got a lot of plates that you got to keep up and spinning, and if all you do is concentrate on one plate, all the other plates are going to fall. And we all have families that we have to keep in balance. We all have the social life and the personal life. We all have our professional life, and for guys like you and I, we also have our spiritual life. That
we appreciate your